Right.
Then.
Oh, meeting.
Hello,
recording.
YouTube. How are you all
Hello.
doing? You get the hello before everyone else, don't you? You lucky watchers. You watchers, aren't you?
Fuck you,
Hi,
Mum.
Mum. Cheers,
Hi,
John. That's me, Mum.
All right. All 150 of Sheps family that watches on a monthly basis. I hope you're all well.
Well, part of Vodafone and
There's nothing
Vodafone
else to do
India.
in prison.
I was going to say, I didn't realise they had strong
Nivish.
internet and broadband in prison.
Nivish in India watching.
Okay, let's get into this. Hello, and a very warm welcome to the Doctor Who and music podcast, Progtor Who. I'm your host Bob, and on this podcast, we are reviewing the Peter Davison story, Arc of Infinity, and playing some random songs along the way. But before we dematerialize deep into this podcast, I'm going to go around this virtual table and gather my co-hosts' first thoughts upon this tale. I'm going to come to you first, John. This must be a first for you watching this one. I presume you've not seen it before?
I have not seen it before, although for some reason I had an idea that I had seen the Amsterdam bit of it in a clip somewhere, maybe.
You may have done.
But yeah, it was all right. I think it was quite good fun. It was not particularly... I got the feeling as well that the Omega thing, they've done that plot type of thing before.
Yeah.
In one of the ones I've seen, and I felt like a baddie in the background manipulating. I don't know, is it Logopolis or something? I don't know.
Deadly Assassin as well. Yeah.
Deadly Assassin, was it? Yeah.
The Time Lords are involved.
I mean, to be fair, and I watched very little Doctor Who. Well, comparative to you lot, and I saw it, so it might be quite annoying to people, but yeah, it was reasonably all right.
Cool. That's not too bad, John. That's not too bad. Suki, what's your first thoughts, please?
I don't think I've watched this since it was first shown in early '83, and
sorry, I've got some bacon stuck in my harmonica, and I was going to.
Is that what you're trying to do?
I just remembered it there. Yeah, I think I've got it all now, though. Suki, sorry about that. Do you want it? Yeah, the bacon.
Give us a proper tune. Let's have a listen.
Oh, do some Alanis Morissette with your harmonica.
He doesn't know how to play harmonica.
I can do the Beatles. And that's Alanis Morissette, isn't it?
It is actually. Yeah, I recognise it. It's ironic, I think.
There you go.
Brilliant, that is, Bob. Brilliant, that is. Fantastic.
Bloody hell, more bacon's falling out my teeth into the harmonica. I'll have to clean it later.
You're a messy eater, aren't you, really, if you get bacon stuck in your harmonica?
I think I'm exhausted now from that. I'm not even going to call it a joke. But yeah, that blow.
I'm also exhausted from that joke as well,
yeah.
Bob, just from witnessing
I just wanted to know how long I could do it for. And I think
it's gone past itself. Yeah, I think
it's had its time.
We'll carry on every month. We'll do it every month. Every month. No, don't let
What about when we go weekly?
Oh yeah, it's too much pressure to think of something hilarious every month. Suki, apologies. The bacon has
Don't
gone.
apologise, Bob. You just love doing it. Don't apologise.
I think a bit of my soul died that time though. I didn't laugh like in my belly. Suki, can you tell us please your first thoughts on this? When did you first see it? What's your thoughts of the change, etc.?
As I was saying, I remember watching this back in early '83, and I don't think I've seen it since. But as John says, there's clips because they keep popping up on YouTube.
What?
Lucky, we've lost you.
You've gone off.
Can't hear you.
I think that's probably a blessing.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason, what's happening is it keeps saying the garage band is disconnecting from the audio from my mic. But I am recording it my end, so...
You shouldn't have got such a shit computer, Suki. Which idiot sold you that?
I was quite jealous that Suki's got that, but maybe I'm relieved now.
No, it's a good... If you know how to use it and you do the right things, Craig, it's fine. But unfortunately, these things come down to user error. And that was sold by a very stand-up guy, a very honest
stand-up guy. He came all the way down and delivered it personally. Yeah. Right? It was such a fantastic service that I got.
So desperate to get rid of it, yeah.
Oh my God, John!
Go.
Don't.
Right, let's try that. Let's try that again. Sorry about that, Suki. So, what did you think? What's your first thoughts on this?
So, I remember watching this back in early '83. I was 12 years old, and I don't think I've seen it since. But there's a lot of clips from here right? Which is like all them running around Amsterdam that keeps getting put on YouTube and Facebook because it's just one of them things. There's even a funny clip. Well, you could say it's funny, where they're taking all the running around and they put a Benny Hill tune to it. And I think that's on YouTube.
I've seen that.
It's good. Yeah. But the story itself, it's just to open up a season, right? It was just a bit meh. It's not brilliant. There are some good bits in it. I mean, Peter Davison, I think, is just excellent as always. But other than that, it's just a run-of-the-mill story that could have been better. But it has nice location shooting in it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Fair enough. So I was going to go tepid for the both of you two. Cliff, what's your first thoughts on this? Have you seen? Do you remember it from original transmission?
Not from original, but I did remember watching it on BBC Two in the past. Pete Davidson's not one of my favourite doctors at all. I think he's a bit of a twat. I just don't like this one at all. I remember watching it back in the day, and because I used to tape everything on VHS on long play, we could get a 4 hour into an 8 hour.
Yeah.
And I had it for ages, like loads of them. You know, when you pack them in and you sit there, you think, oh, right, I've got my time to be TV, because there's only one TV in the house then. And then I watched it and I was annoyed. So when this came up and I watched it for this, it just brought back bad memories. It's like having hemorrhoids. Did not like it.
Wow.
So but I'll go into it more after.
That is occupational hazard.
But how long the hemorrhoids are? It's a bit painful.
Yeah.
That's definitely the negative camp. Craig,
I'm kind of getting the same vibe as everyone else. Really, I agree pretty much what Suki said. It's it's not quite as painful. Maybe developing ones. It's that kind of. It's like Suki said. It's meh. It's like it just feels the story's nothing new. I don't particularly like Gallifrey stories anyway, the Time Lords. It all just seems really dull very often, and I don't always remember the continuity from when they've been before. I find the whole thing really plasticky. I always do with Gallifrey. It just feels like everything's cheap. And you could, if the music wasn't on, you could literally hear the plastic of the outfits they're all wearing. As a kid, I watched it live, and I remember just being totally gutted that Tegan had come back because I really hated her, as you all know. So for me, I probably spent the entire episode just sulking that she was actually coming back into it. I thought Omega looks terrible. So yeah, it's just fair. It's fair enough. It's not the worst. It's not the best. It's a season opener, but I think it does let Omega down quite a lot.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough, Craig. Fair enough. So tepid. Well, I think it's fucking shit. It's time for our. It's time for our first song. We're back on a fresh list of D20. So I'm gonna roll this dice. Oh, it's 10. It's 10, and it is a song by Suki. Suki, this is one of your choices. Do you remember?
I don't know what you allocated 10 to.
I've allocated it to Prince. One day we will all be free. Why did you pick that song, Suki?
It just seemed to stand out of all the ones that I was scrolling through on YouTube. So I thought, okay, that looks like a good record.
You're a big Prince fan?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know any more of his hits?
Prince Harry's doing well.
Yeah. Prince William was great as well.
What's your favourite album? Greatest Hits of Prince? Is that your favourite? Yeah, it's my favourite too.
Thank you.
Wicked. Well, this is our first song. It's Suki's choice. Roll for the random D20. And it's Prince. One day we will all be free.
Okay, before you carry on, my garage band stopped recording.
Has it?
Yeah.
It's a good background, John.
No.
That must have happened.
It's a garage band. I don't understand what you're even talking about, Suki. When you said
it's the like Apple Audacity version of Audacity.
All right. Yeah. Oh, don't use Audacity. Use something different. Okay.
Well, don't worry about it. You can try and record a bit more.
What do you want me to do? Just start recording from whenever?
When did it start
recording?
About 4 minutes in.
It might work.
I tell you what. It doesn't matter. You can all stop recording, and I'll just take it off audio hijack, which I'm definitely recording.
Are you sure? So I don't need this. Do I need this microphone then or not?
Yeah, you still need the microphone.
Oh, so I don't need the internet. That's fine. I'll go to bed then.
Could have found the years computer straight out the fucking window. The seagulls can have it. Sat there just talking to himself. Where's the lad's gone? If you want to stop recording, stop recording because I'll just take you off the auto hijack. It's absolutely fine.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's fine.
You should be actually. It's never happened to me. That it's disgusting. I've spent ages getting this.
All right, Craig, calm down.
It does it sometimes. It just needs a reboot.
Yeah,
to clear the caches and shit because it just.
All right, cool.
Sometimes it does it. It used to do it for me.
No, that's fair enough. I
think it's when it stopped, when it didn't recognise the microphone. That's when it probably stopped. But it looked like it was still recording.
It's fine. It's probably that piece of shit microphone some cowboy sold you as well, Suky. Right, let's get back into this. Fact file, Craig?
Oh, yeah. I'll just turn my computer off thing, the recording.
Have to throw a microphone away. Okay, now.
This is all on YouTube as well.
I've not read this. I've only just taken pictures of it. It's been one of those days. Right, okay. So it's going to be mad. Oh, I know what I wanted to do today. All right, too late. Doesn't matter. I wanted to read out Suky's post. Just leave it.
You can do.
I can't. Oh, let me find it. I meant to take. Oh, did I take a picture of it?
What are you on about?
When Suky did his post.
What post?
For this?
I did a post for Facebook.
I took a picture. I took a picture ready for
Go on, you can read it out then.
And I'm just going to read it out because it's great. Right. It says it all, pretty much.
Cool. Right, cool. What the fuck was that called? And that was Suky's choice, Prince with One Day We Will All Be Free. You're listening to Progtor Who, and on this episode, we are reviewing the Peter Davison story, Arc of Infinity. Now, it's had a fairly tepid, if not negative, response. But before we get in deep, our Craig is going to give us some facts. Fact is up, Craig, please.
Absolutely, yeah. So Arc of Infinity, it was written by Johnny Bryan, directed by Ron Jones, and it was first broadcast in 1983 at the start of Doctor Who's 20th series. The story brought back the character of Omega from the 10th anniversary story of the Three Doctors, and it also brought back Tegan after an absence of 0 stories. It's probably most notable for the first appearance of Colin Baker in Doctor Who. So there we go. That's everything you need to know, listeners and regular podcasters. No,
well, it's not.
Who wrote it? Who directed it? Yeah. What was responses? What was figures like?
I just wanted
to writer. What have you done before?
I just wanted to be lazy and give out what Suky said. All right, so
producer, main cast, previous episode after, and then the poll.
It brought Michael Goff back as Councillor Heading. It was actually
back when was he in it before? Like,
oh no, hang on, I'm getting mixed
Celestial
up.
Toy Maker.
Oh, he was.
Oh yeah, right. He was. Thank you, Suky.
I love you, Suky. You have your babies.
Then he was Alfred the Butler, wasn't he, in the 80s Batman films as well? There you go.
It was broadcast for 3rd to the 12th of January 1983. It was preceded by Time Flight, when Tegan thankfully goes, followed by Snake Dance, which infinitely raises the stakes of this series. It was the viewing figures 7.2, 7.3, 6.9, 7.2, so an average of around 7.1, 7.2. Actually, quite excitingly, Leela was meant to be in this, which I didn't know until I was looking through all this.
Of course, because she was left on Gallifrey, wasn't she? Does she get a mention? Did you mention her?
No, Romana does, doesn't he? Romana mentioned because you were meant to bring Romana back, but you couldn't.
Yeah.
But anyway, what's her name? Louise Jameson wasn't available for the filming, so they had to kind of just give Nyssa her lines instead. So that's what it is. That's everything you need to know about it, really. That and Suky's post. But what we do need to know is where it came. The Doctor Who.
Well, who wrote it? Johnny Byrne. Who directed it?
It was. Give me a second. Directed
Ron
by
Jones.
Ron Jones.
Did I put this in the original post?
Oh, you might have done. I wasn't reading.
No, so you weren't listening to when he read out the original post.
I read your original post, that word for word, because it was just brilliant.
Yeah. And they weren't listening to you, Craig. They weren't listening to you. That's what they were asking.
And then they just stop.
All right, boys, settle down.
I've got your back, Craig. I've got your back.
Can you just make your podcast, the Facebook one a bit more detailed next time? It saves him doing any work.
Just include all the facts.
Oh, wait a second. Am I getting the blame for Craig not doing his job?
Yeah, of course you are.
He's trying to blame you. Lovely.
I had your back, and now I ain't got your back.
Polls.
A poll. So it's out of 241. So I'm gonna really flip things around, and just because I'm feeling that way out today, I'm gonna come to John first.
180.
180 from John. Suky,
As middle of the road, so I'm going to go.
Has to be a darts number. Has to be a darts
120?
number. You can get your darts.
120 from
120.
Suky. Okay, Cliff.
I think it's proper bad. So I'm going to go for 219.
219.
That's
Right,
not
okay.
a dark number.
And just do that again, though. It was quite like. 90. Who did that song?
Can't remember.
Gareth
Paul
Gates.
Hardcastle.
Paul Hardcastle, that's it.
I'm good
And Bob. Finally.
Oh yeah, bullseye.
Out of
What's a
241.
bullseye? 108, 100,
50 is bullseye. What are you
150.
talking about?
I'm going to put
150.
yeah, bullseye plus 100.
Well,
Three
unfortunately,
bullseyes.
John led you all astray with the bullseye number and the darts number, because if you'd have ignored him and gone like Cliff did with non-darts numbers, you're only 2 away, Cliff. It came in at 221.
Wow.
First time
Proper-
I won. What?
Boom,
boom, boom, boom,
Proper bottom. It's only at 241. It comes at 221. It's that.
Cause
crap.
it shit. Yes.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, it is really low. I was quite surprised at how low it was when I was looking
How
down.
low can you go?
Yeah,
I'll tell you
I
what.
didn't look in the first bit, but yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I was only joking. I don't think it's shit. I think it's really good, and I'll
Oh.
tell you why. I
Do
think.
you?
Yeah, I do. I'll tell you why I think it's. I think it's in fact. I won't go. Maybe not quite brilliant, but I think it's. I love Peter Davison's Doctor. And I particularly love, and people criticize this, and maybe rightly so. I love the fact he's just got Nyssa as his companion. I think them two work brilliantly together.
Yeah, I do.
And they do get cold bland, and I can see why to a degree, but I do really love him just having this as his companion. I think that works really well. That's one of the reasons why I love it. And I love Doctor Who when it's going to, not necessarily, it doesn't have to be Amsterdam, but I love location and studio combined in Doctor Who. And even if it's just pissing about, chasing about, or whatever.
Yeah,
I do love
I
that.
find that jarring though.
Do you?
I found the differences between the two were quite jarring.
I think it makes the studio look more obviously studio.
Yeah.
Especially when they go into the underground crypt and it moves from outside into there. It makes
Plus-
it more obvious.
Plus,
Yeah,
I found the it was obvious that it was Amsterdam. They kept saying it's Amsterdam, so they took the whole crew, cast and everything to Amsterdam, but then didn't utilize anything other than canals or show it or use it really well. So to me, it's someone at the BBC going, "Come on, let's go on a jolly."
Yeah, it was John Nathan
And
Taylor
it's
going, I want to
to
go
go
on
off.
holiday to Amsterdam.
Yes,
That's
let's
what he
go on
was.
holiday.
He wanted to go on holiday, yeah.
So
But
you
see,
can
like,
tell
it's
that.
not-
I just thought it wasn't written with that in mind.
It wasn't realistic. Not one person spent an entire day in a cafe for no apparent
No.
reason.
No,
In that era,
no one
that
was
would
off
have been
the
the
face
first thing
at
they
all.
did.
Those two
Yeah.
lads at the beginning, when that dodgy one, because he lost his passport, took him
Colin
down to
and
the
Mr.
dungeon.
Stewart.
Yeah.
Yeah, like something should have happened. He should have like given some magic mushrooms.
I
And
think-
bum him or something like that. You know, it's something a bit different.
Yeah. It's
And then all of a sudden, like Tegan comes from nowhere. He's like, "Oh, that's my cousin." Which one? The dumb
Yeah.
one, the really bad acting one.
Well, his three things were John Nathan Turner wanted to go to Amsterdam,
That's
so
the
that
one.
to include that. He wanted to bring back Tegan, and that was the random fucking.
that was
Johnny
pointless.
Byrne-
She'd never gone, had she? It was like
Well,
meant to
yeah,
be a
but
cliffhanger in the season.
Johnny Byrne was like, "You have to make this some ridiculous coincidence," and that in there were the things he was getting. And you have to bring back Omega, and there were the three things he had to incorporate, and he found pretty much all three of
Omega's a
them quite
great
difficult to
character
do.
from the
I
Three
agree.
Doctors.
Yeah,
but
and this is
he didn't utilize him at all in this at all.
And it looks ridiculous with that ball on his
Yeah,
head and the little things.
Stupid.
The outfit is just really bad. And his lycra leggings.
And then his bodyguard, like a chicken,
I
stretch.
hate
Yeah,
that.
go.
It's just plastic. You can
It's
hear
terrible.
it.
That was terrible.
I thought
mean,
it was
you
very
can-
macabre. I quite liked it. I think if it'd been
It
lower lift,
potentially would have looked good on the designing page. I think it would have looked really good. Or if they did it now with CGI or whatever, but it just I don't think they had the technology to actually replicate or do it justice at the time.
Because it looked so rubbery. It did
Yeah.
look really rubbery on
Yeah.
screen.
rubber chicken.
And then and it's a rubbery chicken. And then and you can also see the holes for the eyes for whoever the actor
Yeah.
was inside. And that just put me off as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean,
I do think it'd be very difficult to act whilst blind. I feel.
Unless
No,
you're
but if-
acting as a
if-
blind person.
if you'd have made the costume
For me to
to
see.
the height of whatever the actor was, instead of having to make holes in the neck, it just put it up. It just didn't come across Has a great costume, great.
You
Yeah,
can't move your eyes. You can't move your eyes.
Do anything. It just comes out, shoots, and goes back in again. It really
It comes. It shambles in, slow as ass fuck, and then just fucking shoots somebody in. And it's stupid.
I thought the directing by Ron Jones wasn't very good at all. The music was over. It's like some kid on a Yamaha keyboard using that play. You know, the extra samples you get constantly repeating it. Annoying. And then the last bit where they're all running around, like Suky said, Benny Hill. It was just really. You could tell it was BBC. Let's get to Amsterdam. Get legless. Couple of nice birds with us. Boom. Have a good time.
You know they went across on a ferry. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, they went on a plane.
They went on a plane.
Yeah,
they went on a plane. Yeah, that's why they had the location shots of the airport. That was just specifically filmed for.
For me as a kid from Salford, and you might Cliff, it meant nothing to me. It was in Amsterdam. I'd never really heard
nothing at all.
There was no
other places.
It was like the Eiffel Tower in the City of Death I got, but here there was nothing that made me think, oh, that's Amsterdam. I didn't even know it. So to me, it could have been anywhere. I preferred it to be in Blackpool.
Paris. Was it Paris?
Paris in the Death before. Yeah. And I recognise that because I don't know, it's not Amsterdam's got loads of famous landmarks, but to me at that point in my life,
didn't use any of it. Could have used the canals in Stoke-on-Trent.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's silly.
I don't think they wanted to see condoms drifting past.
I wanted to see the red light district.
What Craig's saying about it not you're not identifying with the story because you set in Amsterdam. For your parents and for the adults in the audience, they would have recognised it because Van der Valk was
not there. We
popular.
Wouldn't have done.
To be fair though, I went to Amsterdam in 1983.
Oh, did you?
Went on holiday, and so I did remember it. I also
tell us a story.
The memory stuff. No, I won't. The memory stuff of all this. The best part about it is the Parkers and the luminous green socks, which were a thing.
Yes, I spotted those on Colin. Yeah.
They were a thing. The rest of it was shite.
But it's just so bad acted by those two guys, and you could tell it was guerrilla. It was guerrilla filming.
That's children broadcasting.
The people behind them wasn't extras. They was all looking at the camera because no one behind was the extras. So when they was moving down the street, people were going, "What the fuck are they doing?"
Yeah. There's that scene when Omega's melting, and like this Tegan and there's Colin and there's the other guy, I can't remember his name, and they're all just sat staring at each other. And it's just pointless. It really is like what? And the camera's zooming in. It's at least a 5-second shot of them just sitting, looking at nothing. I mean, it is really poorly directed and acted.
Really badly.
When they were on location, the Dutch don't know really. I didn't know what Doctor Who was, but they were All Creatures Great and Small was a big thing. So Peter Davison got recognised for obviously.
It's the same writer as well. Johnny Bryan written for Creatures Great as well.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, that's how he got together with Peter Davison. And which idiot decided to put some celery in his jacket? Oh, he's a bit edgy. Put some celery.
That was John Nathan
That's
Turner.
Stupid. It's the 80s. He comes across like a 1920s Oxfordian in flaming cricket top and a bit of celery. Come on,
greenery. I was like
stupid.
Class, fight the rich. Yes,
I thought at first, well, this green could be like Oscar Wilde. You know, he always wore like a bit of green in his suit.
Yeah,
maybe they could be the first gay Doctor. Maybe I don't know, but no. When you're watching it again, when you look back, it goes, "Oh, come on, move with the times." Tom Baker was moving with times.
In what way did he move with the times?
I was going to say
he had hot loads of women, and he wore frumpy tops like a cult leader, which was quite popular in the 70s.
I suppose, yeah. I'll give you that, Cliff. I'll give you that. Time Lords, eh? Time Lords.
Oh, I find it repetitive.
Did Colin have not Colin, the other one, maybe Colin, have a t-shirt that's called Red Tourette's on it?
What Colin did, he had red. I couldn't see the bottom, but yeah, he did have it. I couldn't. I was looking for Red or Dead. I couldn't see
Red Tourette's.
Red
Tourette's.
What is that?
Oh,
a brand.
I think it might be a band.
Right.
Red Tourette's sounds like a band, doesn't it? Talking of Colin Baker.
Yeah, he's good. Isn't he?
He's good, isn't he?
He's good.
As Maxley, he's good. I love his hat. That he couldn't.
Oh, the purple plumage.
Constantly walks around with.
He couldn't. He was meant to wear it, but he couldn't get under doors, so he just had to carry it around under his arm.
You know, they must have taken that from the idea of Roman legionaries and all that sort of stuff.
I think that outfit looks
the
really
idea
great.
Of, the name Maxwell as well. The name just sounds a little bit Roman.
Yeah.
Well, that's how he got
I do
the
think
job.
the purple is a bit crap.
He got the job,
He
didn't
did overplay it though. He overplayed it,
Yeah,
like the seriousness of it, but he was good. He was probably one of the best in the role.
I think he was the best actor in it. And I think
On Damon, I like the guy who played Damon.
Who's Damon? Damon's the guy in Brown, wasn't the Doctor's friend.
Yeah.
They were all in brown. I didn't know that. Much of Gallifrey was beige.
And white leather sofas everywhere, including corridors.
I like
Could be black leather ones, which is a different cultural connotation.
Colin Baker, though, he got the job, didn't
Probably.
he? From appearing on this, he went to someone's wedding or something and met John Nathan Turner from doing this adventure. And then John Nathan Turner was like, "Oh, he'd be good as Doctor Who."
That's an important thing, though. I think maybe because of the way he came across as a complete, utter arsehole, that must have been the way they wanted to take him.
Yeah.
Make the Doctor a complete edgy bastard.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. The way he's playing it here, but the way Nathan Turner saw him at the wedding, it was with warmth and wit, and he was like quite friendly, right? So that's why he picked him, because he could hold the audience at the wedding, like so he had like he was racketeering, like and stuff like that. But then when it came to casting for the role and creating the character of the Doctor, they went from being the right bugger as he's playing it as Maxwell, and then supposed to be mellow him out by the time you should have regenerated.
Yeah. One more thing I did like, though, coming back to Nyssa again, because I do like the character of Nyssa, is that because it's Johnny Byrne writing it who created Nyssa on it and the Creeper of Track. And there's definitely a bit, obviously she's got more screen time to act and play stuff.
Yeah.
But if you think about the character of Nyssa, she lost a father, a planet, all of her people. So she's had a lot of trauma that she never really gets to display. Yeah, you what? Sorry, John.
Princess Leia did.
Yeah, exactly.
Over it.
But she lost Adric as well. It makes it all even worse.
Oh well, yeah, that just topped her over the edge. But
Princess Leia got to snog her brother as well.
But you get
involved in that.
But you get to see a bit more depth and a bit more anger, a bit more like she doesn't want to lose the Doctor because she's the last thing she's got. We all do that. I'm gonna be that passed me by incest. But yeah, that's what I mean. I think in this she gets written for slightly better because of all that stuff. You think about it, it's quite a lot of heavy stuff into it that she's had to deal with, and she really, you sort of see it coming across that she really does not want to lose the Doctor, and I quite like that. And Nyssa getting a bit more time.
She was quite badass as well in it, which was great.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
She shoots things. Yeah,
every opportunity she was grabbing a gun, wasn't she?
Yeah, showing that desperation to keep the Doctor as she stuff but nothing to do so. I really quite like that.
You'll have to explain to me who Omega is and why he's so important.
Suky, do you want to do that?
Omega appeared in the 10th Doctor story, The Three Doctors, and he was a Time Lord pioneer. And what he did was he created a lot of the technology that made the Time Lords what they are. He harnessed the power. But the way he did it was also the way he ended up being lost in an antimatter universe. Tried to come back in the Three Doctors, didn't happen. And
so has he turned into antimatter?
He was already antimatter when we meet him.
He's already antimatter. He's trying to come into our world.
They refer to a little bit in the 7th Doctor period, don't they, about Omega and things like that?
Yeah, just little bits because of the triumvirate or whatever. But at this point, all we've seen is the Three Doctors.
Before, isn't it? Yeah.
They did kill him in the Three Doctors. But being Doctor Who, everyone can come back.
And also he's in the antimatter world, isn't he?
Yeah.
Because it was a failed time experiment. He ended up being sent to this antimatter.
Well, he didn't start off life as antimatter, did he?
No.
He miraculously got changed into
antimatter.
Yeah.
In the experiment to get time travel, wasn't it?
Yeah, in the time travel experiment.
Your science is fucked up.
But that's the sort of.
He was trying to create the Eye of Harmony, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all for the benefit of the Time Lord race, and he didn't. Yeah, and he was always quite pissed off about that, wasn't he? So
he's very egotistical, isn't he, in the Three Doctors, and he's really bombastic. But here he just there's no explanation as to how he came back, but also the fact how he get his technology to all this biodata stuff from a distance. I know he tapped into the Matrix, but it's all just left unexplained.
It's a cracking character if they really would have explored it. but they never have, and they
Yeah.
should have. I don't know if any books have gone into it, but looking into his past, you can see like he's been mixed. He was trying to do something for his own race. He's obviously fucked up,
Big
and then he
Finish
was
did
more or less
something,
left
didn't
he?
by his own race. Oh, I'll have to listen to that.
Big
But
Finish
they
did
didn't
all-
explore
good,
it very well
actually.
for this,
Yeah,
unless
Big
you've
Finish
watched
did
the
it-
other one.
Yes, I mean it is a bit, but yeah, they did Omega,
Oh my god.
the Master and Davros, didn't they? Their
Yeah,
sort of backstories and things like that, and they're quite interesting. Listen,
Yeah, good.
Oh, I like
right, time for our second song. Time for a little break and a second song. It's time to roll this D20 dice to get up what we're going to be going for next, and it's 11, and it is Craig.
Ooh.
It's Wandering Hearts and Gold.
Oh, cracking song.
I have no idea.
Oh, the
I'm
Wandering
not-
Hearts are a lovely British country band. They're just they're trying to break into it big time. They've just been doing a tour, released a whole new album. Yeah, I saw them as a warm-up act for Ward Thomas a couple of years ago. They are really good. This is their second album. Really, really.
Sounds like an actual serious band. That's not a.
It is a proper serious band. It is like, it's not got keyboard. Well,
Compared to what
We'll,
you humor
we'll see when we listen to it, Bob. We'll see when we listen to it.
Anyway, here's one of Craig's songs, which apparently is by a serious proper band. Right.
Can I just say, every time I see we're looking at Cliff and with his background and his headphones when it is
His halo.
It's like a halo.
yeah, his bald head flipping the
that
halo.
better?
Yeah,
It
it's
suits you that, Cliff. It looks,
yeah,
I was
no,
thinking that
I
before.
thought I just
better.
keep looking. No, it doesn't matter.
I went,
Put it back up as a halo. You make you out to be
They look
God.
like God figure.
Yeah, make you look like a god.
Right, I'm going to go and turn
Sad-
the light on. It's dark in here.
A sad look out for Christians throughout the world if God looks anything like you, Cliff. Bit of a Blackadder quote there. Bit of a Blackadder there.
Grey them off.
Oh, Craig's gone off. Well,
Yeah,
is,
let's
go
is,
to-
is it Sucky time to read something? Is it?
Is Craig thinking that we're actually listening to the song now? Is that what he thinks? Just gone away. Get his
Gold.
vodka.
Gold.
I thought that one.
Shite.
Gold. Always believe
Believe
in
in
your
it.
soul.
In fact,
Did he
put
say
that
it was a
instead.
folk? It was folk music. Did he say country music?
Country music. Yeah.
Gold
listen to
and
any-
showers, texture
Yeah.
like sun.
I didn't listen to anything that
Texture
he's
like
put.
scum.
So. Golden showers, texture like scum. But he's got to turn the light on, which means
You know
he's got
what?
to get some vodka.
Turn
I
the red
do
light
like
on.
gold. I do like Golden Brown, the song,
It's a great song, yeah.
and it's
It's a great
5/4. It's 5/4, guys.
Yeah,
Five,
5/4 is ace.
yeah, yeah.
The time signature for that song.
It's beyond my understanding and limitations as a musician.
It's just,
anything
I just
outside of
like it
4/4.
because at least they're trying.
At least he's trying, not just doing your 4/4 rock and roll, will he?
Yeah, your 4 chords.
Craig's
Oh.
got a didgeridoo in the background. We need to get him on that.
He's not. He's already told us he can't play it. I think he's using it for.
Should we
I don't
make
know
him
if-
try?
He wants to. He maybe fillets it. He maybe practices fellatio on it.
Oh, Elaine, I tried to say Elaine and that together, but I just couldn't get the word out. And Elatio. I think we should try and get him to play it though before the end of the podcast. In fact, we
Yeah.
I
can
don't
play us
think he
out with
knows
it.
how to.
We can play us out with it. We'll see
Well,
what
tell him
happens.
to purse his lips and like that, and it'll come out like that. Won't be the first time.
Where the fuck has he gone?
He definitely thinks the song's on.
I'm going to carry on eating.
It's got to
my
be a
fucking
big
French
vodka
fries.
he's going to bring back.
You got French fries?
Large pitcher of vodka. Can't see it. What is it?
Have you listened to I don't know if anyone's listened to or read the new Bob Mortimer his new book, his new
Blake's
autobiography.
Parsnip. Oh, it's
No,
got
no.
a factory.
Audio book out, John. It's phenomenal. And he reads it.
It's
which
Bob
makes it-
Mortimer. I'll have to actually fucking buy it with money. Ugh,
Well, I've got Audible.
I can't steal it. It's
I've-
Audible. I'll use
Yeah.
your credit.
Yeah, I've used my credit for it. But the best bit is, and I'm not going to spoil it for you. He tells the story about when Jarvis Cocker did that thing with Michael Jackson on stage.
Yeah, I've heard
Oh,
the
yeah.
story. I've
Oh,
heard the
it's so
story.
good.
Yeah.
He got arrested, and the impression he does of Jarvis Cocker is brilliant because Bob is a solicitor, real life lawyer. So he ended up being Jarvis Cocker's lawyer at the night of this Brit Awards when he goes, Jarvis, what have you done? And he went, I just showed my bum to Michael Jackson. I was like, fuck off. What? Thought you'd like hit him or something like that because all these.
It was like a mega big fucking scandal at the
It
time.
It was
wasn't
massive at the time, wasn't it?
Just 'cause I just showed my bum to Michael Jackson. Like, it's fucking great, but there's loads of good stuff in there.
Good bit of PR for Pulp. That was amazing.
Oh, it was huge.
Good work.
So funny. But yeah, it's I'd highly recommend it because he does the voice himself, and he's like, it doesn't sound like a professional narrator. It just sounds like Bob Martin. He does a lot of voices in that as well. It's class. So I would recommend. I beg your pardon. We're in your garden. Right, let's get on.
Where the fuck were you been, Craig?
Yeah, where the fuck have you been?
You turn the red light on. Is it work time?
I turned the light on. It was way too dark. And
he's got his vest on as well. He's got the vest on. He's got the,
of course
the muscles out.
Got to show the tan off when I've got it before it fades.
Craig, will you play that didgeridoo behind you? Before we get on.
Can't, but I will get it out.
Yeah, go on, try and play it.
Oh, hang on.
We wiped it down first before you do.
Got a massive condom on that one end.
We wiped it down with some Swarfiga.
See, it's just a massive fleshlight. It's all it is. Can't eat it.
Go on, try and play it. Just go play it.
You can actually.
Try and play it. You don't blow your into it. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, you did.
There you go.
Yay.
Did you just be able to play it?
Yeah, because I could do harmonica, and we can play out the show with harmonica and didgeridoo. Craig, imagine that.
I'd rather
Do theme tune.
I'd rather you did you don't.
Oh, clever.
Fucking brilliant. Right. Oh, it's to get back on the podcasting. So that was wondering.
YouTubers are gonna love that.
It's just for you, YouTube, all this. Right. And that was Wandering Hearts with Gold. And that was Craig's choice. You're listening to Progtor Who. And on this episode, we are reviewing the Peter Davison story, Arc of Infinity. And it's been a sort of just a tepid general conversation. I'll tell you what I wanted to get into. So I don't know if you know this, but Jim Cameron off the Jim Cameron and Martin off the Quinoid podcast are doing Blake 7.
Yes.
They're doing reviewing Blake 7 now once a month.
I do know that. Shit.
Yeah.
Is Mark joining them?
No, just them two are doing it. So I'm doing Quinoid, the Mutoid podcast. And obviously I love listening to them now. So now I have to watch Blake 7. I have watched Blake 7. I watched the first 3 episodes of Blake 7 at the bottom on DVD.
Oh,
and I don't know why.
Hold on.
It's fucking awesome, isn't it?
I know, okay. But why?
I'm bored of talking about Arc of Infinity.
Aren't we supposed to be doing Arc of Infinity?
Yeah, I'm bored. So I'm just telling you about this because it's more interesting, I think. So yeah, I've started watching Blake 7. It's fucking great, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good. I've seen it. Yeah.
Oh, it's brilliant. Like, yeah.
You spent literally decades slagging it off, Bob.
Yeah, I have.
Now you are. Here you are.
I have. I've tried to watch it, but I bought it on DVD, remastered DVD. It's a bit nicer than YouTube and all that. So I put it on and I was like expecting it to be shit. And it was fucking great.
Oh, no, it was cracking at the time.
It's a fantastic story.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's
No,
It's Terry Sticks, Terry Nation.
It's Terry Nation, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's got the best music. Opening music out of all things. Epic.
I don't know why they not brought something like that back. Well, obviously can't do 1999. 2999.
So all the time that Mark was doing his little reviews at the back
No
end,
one listened, did we?
Yeah, well, they did.
We did. We all listened.
No, sorry, no one listened to the podcast. I'm not meant the episodes was watching it.
Oh, right, yeah. But yeah, so now I thought better.
We know what you meant, Craig.
We know what you meant.
It takes a while for Bob to come round. I mean, like Time Lord Victorious, every time I mention it, and then no, and then all of a sudden, we'll do Time Lord. It's fantastic, isn't it? It's great.
And then it becomes brilliant. I just take a little while to just warm up to it. I think I need to get my expectations levels so low that anything will be brilliant. Do you know what I mean?
What's she called? Glynis Barber.
Yes. Well,
when Glynis Barber appears in Blake 7, she's just mint.
Did you watch her in Jane just before she went into her?
I'm a Dempsey and Mate.
Dempsey and Mate.
She was my teenage crush.
Yeah, I can understand why.
Glynis Barber.
Well, just before Dempsey and Makepeace and Blake 7, she did this little thing called Jane, which was like a spy thing, right? Where she spends half the time suddenly undressing, and this is shown early evening on BBC One, BBC Two.
Wow!
You can find that out. It's very interesting.
That's good, isn't it? Yeah,
very interesting.
So, Blake 7's good, yeah. That's Arkham Infinity. Any more things you want to say about it?
Yeah. One thing I don't get, and this happens quite often in Doctor Who, is before they reveal who the big adversary is, they kind of all run around pretending they don't have a clue where it is. And what in part 2 is it? Let's have a look. Yeah, part 2 is this whole scene where they're trying to work out who it could be. And they know it's made of antimatter, and they know they've got knowledge of the Time Lords, and they know they've dealt with Omega before. But why does no one actually stop and think this could be Omega? It just seems completely dim to me. It's like, it's so obvious who it's going to be, and that they just don't mention it. And it's like they're meant to be really, really super intelligent. It's obvious you've got the 3 criteria. It's one of your adversaries.
I think because you've done Deadly Assassin quite recently, I think that the Time Lords have done relatively well in that. But in this, they're just pompous and boring and bland. Whereas in Deadly Assassin, there's a bit more conspiracy theory, kind of. I don't know.
They try to recreate that here, don't they? Because there's all kind of who did the biodata.
Yeah, but it
just doesn't work though.
They did a good job of building up the Castellan as a baddie and then doing a switcheroony and it like not being him. But they are the same as their coloured clothing, just beige and bland.
Isn't it? It's a bit beige, this one.
Yeah, I hate the Time Lost, but this is why I think that's what I think always taints the Deadly Assassin, because obviously I came across all these first before I look back. Whenever they come along, I just find them dull. Really,
do you think though, like he reads some connections that when they was writing it, they always have what's going on at the time, and they always think that Galfrey is their way of writing how the British government was. Just a load of pompous assholes at the time.
Yeah. Again, Galfrey, I love it.
Galfrey.
Yeah.
I like Galfrey. I do.
That's the way it should be said.
They do mention at one point that there was an execution of a Time Lord before. Who was that? Was that the Master?
No,
yes.
Morbius.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Morbius. Brain and Morbius. You've not seen that one, John?
Oh, we've got that for whatsoever. No.
Yeah.
That's classic.
I'm just also thinking maybe there was too many Time Lords actually on the council. They could have just got rid of some Talia. They could have got rid of the other guy that was sitting there as well.
Just didn't do anything.
Right. Yeah, and they could have just put them lines onto other characters and made them a bit more.
It wasn't very dynamic though. It was just very old.
Static. Yeah, it is.
They rolled in the future U-Tree lot for BBC. It's just...
I think the problem might lie in the fact that you lot are all got this idea in your head of what Gallifrey should be, and you built it up to be this massive fucking awesomeness thing, and then when you go there and see that it's just normal people, that's the reality of the situation.
Yeah, but Deadly Assassin, they had that right. I like that.
They're still pretty much normal people though.
Yeah.
Deadly
No, go on. You've already interrupted me. You might as well carry on.
Deadly Assassin is the exception to all the Time Lord stories, because that's really well laid out. Whereas you've got 3 Doctors, they're only in for a little bit bland, and then they go on to Ark Infinity, and we're not really impressed with the Time Lord Society there. 5 Doctors, which is the next one. Again, that's not much happening in the background there, apart from the Castellan maybe getting killed off. The Trial of a Time Lord, it's just one little section of Time Lord Society, but most of the Time Lords are just background characters sitting in the back of that great courtroom, and you just don't get any thing that really stands out. And the only one that does is Deadly Assassin, because they had well-rounded characters in there that
and they only had like 2 or 3. You had really 3, really, didn't they? Chancellor Goth and the 2 and
Spandrel and
Engen, yeah.
But when you compare the Doctor, I mean, I know he's the outcast, because you made me rethink Deadly Assassin with that. He's the outcast. He left it because of all that. But when you look at all the adversaries, and then you come across the Time Lords, for this high and mighty race with such great abilities, they're just dull. All the presenters dull, turgid and stale. But I know that's the reason he left. But as a kid, it just did nothing. It just does nothing for me at all. As a kid, it switched me off. And as an adult now, it's just like, it's boring to watch it. Especially when it's so
the reality of the situation, though, isn't it? That's what they're trying to maybe do.
But were they trying to do that, or was it just bad production?
Oh, no, it was just 80s shit. But yeah, it's also, they could suggest that they were trying to work.
I mean, that's what I mean. When you read it, or it would be quite interesting, because it's probably real, the hierarchy, the routine, all that. But you don't want to see that when you turn into a science fiction drama. I was more into the biodata, more interested in the transfer of Omega into the Doctor, all that. But you don't get that till the end. You just get this 3 episodes of just nothingness, really. It's not, yeah, I'm sure.
I'm sure there's a good story in it, trying really hard to get out, but just stopped by the realities of BBC filmmaking at that time.
I think the guy who had to write it, or Johnny Byrne, I don't even know how to say it right, Byrne. Yeah. I think because of their, let's get pissed in Amsterdam trip, he had to change it a lot. And maybe he had it planned completely different. Because he just feels like 2 separate stories, and I struggle to understand why they was in this setting.
Yeah, there's
and
no
then
need for it
a
to be
lot of
Amsterdam.
money would have been spent for that. And then the other parts, when it was inside, just seemed to be Colin Baker and everybody just running around in circles. Or get the Doctor, not get the Doctor, get the Doctor, not get the Doctor. And it's just a bit like, oh, come on, it's a bit silly now.
Yeah, and it's like you just said, when he first arrives, it's let's get the Doctor and kill him, send the armed guards. I mean, really? Is that what they were going to have done? They're a sophisticated, intelligent race, and they just go along and shoot him straight away without any, like they even say
to be fair, the Doctor's story of being the bad guy for Gallifrey and having stolen TARDIS and all that whatnot, you can understand that sort of reaction.
Yeah, but he saved them on so many occasions before in the 3 Doctors, the Deadly Assassin. They should be welcoming, not just go to kill him at the end of episode 1 or whatever. It just seems ridiculous a little bit.
I did find Tegan's legs to be fairly distracting during all of this.
I felt really sorry for her because some bugger taped up her boobs because there was like this.
It's a proper boob tube thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, she isn't a very good actress, so let her assets roll. Let them out.
She does actually look much better in that outfit than she does in a stewardess outfit. Yeah.
I don't know. I like the stewardess outfit.
Do you really?
Yeah,
I thought she looks really pretty in this. She looks a bit boyish.
I like the one that she wore when she was in Remembrance of the Daleks or Resurrection. Which
I'll put your picture back up. What? Oh, that's the kind of the tie-dye kind of thing. Yeah,
that was a nice costume.
And that's a black leather skirt, isn't it, Suki?
What's that?
Did she wear a black miniskirt in that?
Yeah.
Yes. But the thing as well, you've got to feel sorry. Yeah, you've got to feel sorry for Janet Fielding. The Janet Fielding, because this must have been shot in autumn, winter. And you can see everybody else around there is wearing their coats, keep themselves not. And she's walking around in a boot.
Why they get the big books? Why they get the big books?
Did she get big
books? They know the dads like to watch Doctor Who. That's why she was in there. Just for put a nice woman in there. That's it again. But right at the end, do you not think it was really unusual where she turns around and goes, "I've lost my job. I'm just going to come out with you and all that." And then Nisa and her go, "Yeah." And the Doctor looks gutted. Really, in his mind is going. In his mind is going.
Overjoyed.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know what the Doctor thinks of her.
Bitches.
No, I think the Doctor, for the last year and a half or whatever she was traveling with him, all she wanted to do was get back to Heathrow, get back to her job and all this stuff. And then when she did leave. Okay, he's fulfilled her. But when she goes, I'm going to start, coming back with you. Right, shush. All right, I'm going to come back with you guys. Right, he just thought, I can't be handling all the complaining that she does.
Because that's why he rolled his eyes. Nothing's ever good enough. Nothing's ever right. He gets her back, and even then she leaves. But why was she bothered about having a job anyway? It's irrelevant in the TARDIS. You can come back at the exact moment. It's just totally stupid. I just wish she'd never come back.
Well, she was an unwilling companion anyway, wasn't she? She didn't want to be there. She fucking whinged all the time, didn't she?
Well, it's quite nice to see her family because we see her auntie Vanessa, don't we? And then we get to see cousin Colin.
Away.
Yeah, and Colin survives, but
Colin gets zombified straight away.
Yeah, so and it's also the whole kind of when she first mentions the Doctor, you are a friend of the Doctor, and it's like, oh yeah, well, I am. It's not like there's no kind of real surprise that here she is in Amsterdam and the Doctor's cropping up. There's no authenticity to the script or the acting of it. It's like when the Doctor
and he admits himself he had to make this because he got told he had to do it, and he was like, well, what the fuck do I do?
Yeah.
So that's why he had to tie in Amsterdam, bringing Tegan back, which made no sense. And
there's that scene when she's in the Matrix, and it's like, don't tell them where she is. She's like really lame acting where she says Amsterdam. It's like Amsterdam, and it's like really poorly done. And then you can hear the bells, whatever. It's really bad.
But there is a lot of bad acting in this story anyway. I mean, the two lads aren't really great.
I think Colin only hangs around with the other one because it brings his sexer status up.
And also, I think they're very of the
Domingo.
time. I think a lot of 80s youngsters were portrayed this way. I don't know. It seems like
Yeah.
there's a
It
lot of
just seemed really
yeah.
dumb. It wasn't well done at all. It seems to be partly written because when
But,
it
I
gets to
mean-
the point afterwards, they're just like, "Oh, where are they? Oh, they're just over there. Don't worry about that." Yeah, Colin's got his head back now. Don't worry about that.
And it's like when he comes across him, it's like he says a couple of things, doesn't he? Like, is Colin still got to be here because his sleeping bag's here? There's no logic in that
Really
at
badly
all.
written to go. Oh, I've lost my passport. Oh,
Yeah.
better keep away from the police, me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was.
Let me take you into a dark dungeon. I've got a place to sleep. Yeah, you
Yeah.
wake up with a condom up your ass. You know, it just doesn't fit well.
Or in a
With or without the
bath full
condom.
of ice with your kidneys missing.
Yeah. But no,
Hey,
a turkey neck bloke comes and shoots him.
I'll tell you a fun fact that I heard on TalkSport today. Birmingham, Suky, you know this. Birmingham has more canals than Venice. Or Amsterdam, one of them. Imagine that.
They
Thank you.
both
I did
smell
not
of
know
shit,
that.
though,
Thank you
innit?
for sharing
So,
that, Bob.
Yeah, is there a lot of canals in Birmingham, Suky?
Could have
Lots,
used it.
lots,
Could have
lots of
gone
open
Birmingham.
sewage in Manchester as well. Now you mention it.
It is,
don't know.
actually.
Cool. Right, quick fire. Let's go around. John, I'll come to you first. You look organised.
Right, so my list of things are impressive. I wasn't sure about the Rondel collapsed Q star. Sounds good. Doesn't really mean anything. And the whole concept of the actual arc of infinity as this doorway between dimensions. Yeah. I think one of the key parts of it is we always get at the end of every episode, we get a doctor bloody getting shot or killed or attempted execution and stuff like that.
Cliffhanger.
I thought the execution stuff was done pretty decently. The whole the frustration that you felt as a viewer saying, but this is unjust. That bit was all right. That was decently done. I think it does suffer. This episode, the entire serial suffers from being shit. That is essentially the Birdman is your most egregious. I don't even know what you call it.
I quite like the Birdman. I think it looks quite
awful.
macabre.
If it had been shot in a certain way where they weren't highlighting all its flaws, then it might have been they might have got away at least halfway. But
And
they
one thing
didn't.
they did really well was when Omega takes over the Doctor, and he speaks with the Omega's voice. The lip syncing was perfect.
Oh yeah, was
He
it?
says, trying really hard to find a positive. And that, it's just prosthetics really fucking ruined it for everybody. The kids
Yeah.
are rubbish. And the Doctor does not seem overjoyed to have Tegan back. Nobody knows why. And running around accounts for like 50% of the last episode. So
It's pretty much all of
it
it.
went
isn't
on
it?
for far too much. But
Yeah.
I did feel a bit sorry for Peter Davison running around Amsterdam in public with loads of gunk on his
Looking like a
face.
twat. Yeah.
Looking like a twat. But that's all I've got that is worth talking
All right.
about.
Wicked. Craig.
A couple of things. We're just on that last note of him running around with the gunk. That double gets worse and worse as it goes along because when he first is, they kind of make him look not too bad when he first comes out, or when Peter Davison is it. That's why it looks good. And it looks a bit like Michael Myers walking around. But then towards the end, like as of that scene when he's hiding behind the steps and the dog's barking, you can really tell it is a double, and it's a really bad double as well, in my opinion. So I think that's pretty lame.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they couldn't actually make two Peter Davisons.
No, but why couldn't they have shot on occasion? Yeah, but they could have been more creative with it because there were times when there was just him on the screen and it was obviously
Could have
not
edited
him.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
but
there was.
it was the actor who was playing Omega, wasn't it? And eventually it mutated into that because the antimatter nonsense or whatever.
Well, that's a nice explanation,
Not
Bob,
how
but they could have put
fucking
it in the
antimatter
story.
works.
Yeah. The tulips of Amsterdam, I think they overdid that as a bit of a stereotype. You know, you've got the music of it when it first comes in. You've got the little carousel, the little windpipes and all the rest of it. That was a bit naff. It was again.
Hardly seen when you go there. I don't.
No, you don't. No, I've
Because
never
you're
seen
high
that
as
bit.
fuck, that's why.
Yeah, that's
As I
true.
say, you're
Probably-
too
I'm probably
busy
Well, that's
window
because
shopping.
they don't have that in red light district. Sheps, that's why.
I don't know why they didn't go to the red
Loads of
light
tits.
district.
Just loads of tits and gnomes.
Yeah. Oh, it's awful.
Crisps.
Yeah. when the Doctor's walking through, just after the scene, actually, where you see the tulips of Amsterdam and the wind packs, for the observant viewer like myself, you'll notice that Peter Davison dresses to the left and is rather quite well endowed, actually. I just spotted that as I was walking through.
Davidson's got a big dick. Is that what we're saying?
He just popped a Savoy down his trousers.
He could well have done. He was getting so bored his hemorrhoids were coming through.
Not lettuce, a bit of celery. You've been to the locations, Craig, on Amsterdam, haven't you?
Yeah. Back in 2015, we went on. Been to Amsterdam loads of times, quite a few times, and that was the last time we went. But I must have just recently watched Arc of Infinity, or been a bit obsessed with going to filming locations. So yeah, we went to the police where the police station was, the outside of the hostel, the scene where youth hostel, the scene where Omega's in that confrontation. We had lunch just outside looking at it. It was really cool, actually. Nice lunch. Can't remember very much about the actual bridge other than the pictures I put on. So it's like a little barrage that comes out. You can walk on it and do that. And then we went through the tulips, but that's just everyone's there, isn't it? The canals and all those bridges. So yeah, it was quite good to go and see them, actually. Dead easy to find. But yeah, I did do it part of my little tour. Other thing I don't understand, when Omega first changes and he comes out into the garden, before he kills the gardener, he's got this big, thick fur coat on. Where does that come from? Is that Tegan's, or I don't know?
That comes from the skin of an animal that's been taken off and then prepared into a coat of sorts.
But no one's got it, have they? I don't remember seeing anyone dressed in that.
Of all the flaws in this episode, that is the least important.
But I thought when I was watching it, it caught my attention. Like, where's it just come from?
Probably off one of the sofas. There's sofas everywhere.
If you look at Omega before he transforms, he does wear a cloak. He's wearing a big, massive cloak.
I did wonder if that's where it was.
So that's what he's got round him.
The first two cliffhangers, are they the same or are they not? I've got written down they are, but I can't remember now.
Well, yeah, it's the Doctor, but you think the Doctor's died. The first one he gets stunned. The second one you think he's been executed.
Yeah, I quite like the termination scene. That's quite clever, the way it all comes down and all the smoke comes up.
Did you watch with the new CGI effects switched on?
Oh no,
I didn't. There's some new CGI effects switched on.
Oh, but that would have made it.
And they look very good.
I mean, you can't really polish a turd, though, can you? Really?
Yeah, but you can put glitter on it, and that's what they've done, John.
Yeah, fair enough. No, that's right.
Unless they change the actors as well.
Is that all? Well, yeah, you can't CGI shit acting, that's for sure. Is that you done, Craig?
That's me done. Yeah, that's me done. Cheers.
Cliff?
Yeah, I've got a list of things.
A list, eh? You're not shopping.
Back onto French fries then. Nice.
Yeah, get on your French fries.
Have I got to go inside to get into vodka?
No, you fucking have it. Everyone stays where they are.
He's eating his.
So, Lisa, I liked her at the beginning when she was doing a bit of spring cleaning with the Doctor, and she was having a bit of go with him, saying, "Oh, you need to mend this."
Yeah.
Like a bit of a married couple that was. I thought that was good, and I always like seeing the TARDIS, but this time when we saw the TARDIS, it just looked like a hotel room in a Holiday Inn. When it just kept going to her room or something. You know, you wanted something a bit more spacey.
That's what they're. What Holiday Inn have you been that has a fucking console?
I've been to many.
All right, fair enough.
One in Brixton. What else have we got here?
Come on, Cliff.
I have mentioned that the BBC just wanted to go out and have a bit of a beer up, and I don't know if anybody's read. There's a book on John Nathan Turner. I'm not saying it's true or anything, but he has been linked to a lot of like sexual harassment stuff.
Yeah.
So could be the reason he picked those nice two young boys at the beginning.
Yeah. He was massive gay, wasn't
he? He wasn't alone in.
Were them boys? Did they go on to do any acting? Those two actors.
You're only in Amsterdam. One sucking up a donkey.
One was the son, I think, of Fiona Cummings, which was. Fiona Cummings. She was director on Doctor Who.
Is that for the Danny Chase? I'm not the one who laughed about Cummings, honestly.
And Danny Manfat. So there you go. It's a Cliff.
So what I've got is
yogurt.
The music. Yeah, music just really did my head in. Just very repetitive, very 80s, synthesized. You could have used a hell of a lot more better stuff than that. Just kept repeating it all the way through. But the only thing is, I did have a look at the guy who did the music to it, Roger Lynn. Yeah. Now he did the music for one of my favorite.
Roger Lim. Oh,
Roger Lim. That's how I say it. He did the music for one of my favorite kids shows called The Box of Delights with Patrick Troughton.
Love that. Oh, it's cracking. Yeah,
it's brilliant. I love that. So after watching this, it made me want to download that, which I did. So this made me do illegal activities.
It's got Patrick Troughton in it as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's really good.
You said Box of Delights with Patrick Troughton.
Yeah,
and then it's a Box of Delights for the Big Finish version. That's quite good, decent actually.
Then I've got the second episode was a bit of a slog to get through. Third episode started ramping up, and the fourth episode was just people running around. It could have been condensed to about 2 episodes.
There was a lot of
just to intersperse on that one. I remember one scene when the Doctor's recovering in the TARDIS, and Lisa brings him a drink. It's in one of those shitty glasses with a straw that goes right the way around.
I remember thinking, how
it's such a fucking 80s thing in that. That was amazing.
How did the juice get into the straw? Was the straw made of glass as well? Because I spent way too much time thinking about that, actually.
I've never had one of them as a kid. It comes at the bottom of the glass.
The straw
it
is built into the glass.
Right.
So there's a hole at the bottom of the glass that goes to the
It's like there's always a pain to wash. It's like get crammed full of crap.
I do remember this. That's it, yeah. Orange juice as well, wasn't it?
Is that you done, Cliff? You got any more?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I as you might have guessed, I didn't really enjoy this one.
Thank you very much. No, it's constructive though. It's okay.
There's only a few things. I quite like the character of Damon. He was quite helpful.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah, I liked him.
He was just there. He believed the Doctor. And tried to help the Doctor on many occasions.
Friendly.
And I'd have loved to have seen him come back as in another story somewhere. Right, or even a little background bit for him, but that was never to be. The running around Amsterdam was tedious. It did go on too long, but you could also see that Nissa after a bit was knackered because you could see Sarah Sutton when all Peter Davison's running and Janet Field is running. Sarah Sutton is just lolloping right behind them, slowly and slow, and then you come to the next scene. All of a sudden, she's in front of everybody else, right? Because they've just cut it around the fact that she was knackered. There's a couple of cast choices that didn't come to fruition, which is like Patrick Stewart was in the running for Maxwell. And Pierce Brosnan.
Imagine if he'd have played Maxwell and then he'd have been the Doctor, Patrick Stewart. Imagine if he'd been the Sixth Doctor.
He'd have been amazing.
I think you'd have all slagged off and hated him anyway.
No.
I think you all would have done. Oh, he's not Tom Baker.
And then we wouldn't have had Jean-Luc Picard. Oh my God, imagine. Oh.
And the other one was...
And then the Doctor Who Star Trek mashup cartoon would have been more interesting, wouldn't it?
It would have been. Colin Baker plays Picard. Imagine that.
No.
Oh, no. Sorry, it's okay.
The other one was Pierce Brosnan. Was supposed to be in the running... Pardon?
I can imagine Pierce Brosnan being a good Riker.
Nah, Bird would suit him.
I bet he's got a good man stance there.
Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan, before he became Bond, he could have been the Castellan. Right. And that is the end of my notes.
Yeah, wicked.
That was quick, Sucky.
I told you I haven't had a chance to watch this episode until 2 hours before we started recording.
What you been doing, like?
I've been busy at work and other things.
What you been? So what have you been doing?
I've been doing overtime. We're going in early and just doing overtime.
Getting over COVID.
Oh,
that was a few weeks ago.
I've
got over that.
You feel better?
What have you got now then? Ebola? Something.
I haven't got Ebola. That was a shock when that didn't happen.
I think you got a deer stalker.
I've got a what?
Deer stalker. I like down the same loot as Bob.
Anyway, it's time to put some Ebola out of 10 on this. Right. Ebola's out of 10. How many Ebolas out of 10 would you give this, Craig?
I'm going to go with 5. It's fair enough. It's not offensive. It's below average Doctor and Earth class average Doctor at 7. So it's a steady 5. Not giving enough thought to it, which is what the whole episode summed up.
Fair enough. John?
Well, it's not the worst thing in the world I've watched, but it's a 4.
Oh.
4. Ooh. Cliff?
3.5.
Whoa.
We're going down, aren't we?
That's it only goes up. Craig. If they didn't have Tegan on it, it probably would have got less.
Yeah, Tegan's legs in the boot ready to save a point.
Higher or lower? Suki, higher or lower?
Why have I gone higher than every one of you and I didn't appreciate that?
No, it's going to be the same as Craig, 5. It's a middle of the road story. It could have been a lot better, but it wasn't. So it's just meh. As I said, meh right at the beginning. Meh. 5.
I do quite enjoy this. I do.
But is it good?
I'm probably gonna. I don't like doing halves and that. That's bullshit, innit?
I told you, Cliff.
At least it wasn't 3.924, which Mark used to do.
I think 10's enough numbers, isn't it, to score something?
I think so.
I mean, no, it's each their own. It's my personal opinion that I don't tend to put in halves. That's all.
I don't do it.
You know, but everyone can do what they want.
And everyone who does is a cunt. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, I probably wouldn't use that terminology, John.
All right.
Each to their own, isn't it? I'm torn. I'm either going to give it 6 or 7. I'm going to give it a 7.
No way.
Nice.
Wow. And you've got that picture behind your head of that chicken
another
egg.
Another example of Bob's scoring fucking strategies being fucking minefield of just chucking shit at a screen.
What else have you given 7 to? Just I don't know. I'd love to know what else you've given 7 to. So
I'm sorry.
I want to know what you've given 1 to.
I bet he's given loads of 1s out.
1, 2, 1, 2. No, I do. I quite like it. I quite enjoyed watching it. I've not watched it for a while. I like Davison and Sarah Sutton just being together, and I think it's a shame they brought Tegan back.
They were the best part of it, definitely.
Yeah. I like the fact it's got
Colin
Michael
Baker
Goff
was
in
the
it.
best part of it.
I thought Colin Baker's great, and it's got that, and it's got a lot of stuff. I remember big stuff when I was younger, when I didn't see all this bad stuff. Like I saw
don't
Colin
fucking
Baker.
disagree with me, Sucky.
Why not?
I'll
disagree with you if I want to.
Right, fuck you. We're not doing take your seats anymore. That's it.
Well, that's all right. Then I'll do it with somebody else. Bob, what are you doing Friday?
Fuck off.
We're not doing it Friday, are we?
Floppy seconds, Bob.
Hold on. I better
I'll be used to it, Craig.
Used to be on the
side. Here we go. Advertising it on the podcast. Go on. What are you doing Friday?
Shameless.
I don't fucking know because we're not doing that because I've got no time to watch it.
What are you doing? Brilliant.
Empire Strikes Back.
No, we haven't got it. Well, next Friday.
Next Friday, it's okay.
Next Friday.
Anyway, she's fascinating for listeners. But while you're looking around at your massive schedules, I'm going to roll this D20 for our next song. Oh, 18. Oh, it'd be good if we rolled that in a game. It's John. It's Jethro Tull and Aqualung.
Nice.
There we go. So it's going to come into listeners' feedback.
Bit of jazz flute.
So let's get all that up.
Is there another song near the end as well? Is that the last one?
That's the last one. Infinity feedback. Right, cool. So we'll rifle through this feedback, and then it's Benny time.
Oh, feedback's shit. Hold on.
Yeah, just let me know when you've got it ready.
This is always the challenge for me.
Oh God! Don't chat in the feedback channel, guys.
All right,
stop
chatting. On the media and just scroll across.
I know, but it's just annoying.
So, John.
No, not good enough.
I agree with John.
Sorry, John, for chatting. Sorry for
No. We've got another WhatsApp group for that.
Can we stop interacting? Oh, wait, you've all gone. You've all gone from the screen.
Disagree.
Are you there, Craig?
Yeah, I'm here.
Can you see us?
Yeah, I just minimized for some strange reasons. We're buying a new computer soon because this is shit.
Cool.
Getting off Bob.
Bob will be able to provide you with one.
Yeah. A load of them in his lockup.
He'll come round and install it just to get rid of it quick.
Well, I've been nice, being a nice friend and that, and I'm getting.
You have to feed him as well.
Really excited about that.
Yeah, you have to feed him as well.
I was that sick of his shit PC that I wanted to smooth. I hadn't done anything to get these two technologically advanced.
Why have you not brought me a computer round then? I'm not paying for it, but why have you not brought me one round?
Yeah, Bob.
You answered the question with the second bit.
Yeah.
I'll expect you this week with a gift, please.
Here's a new Craig, you wouldn't know what to do with it. You just throw it out your window. I'm finished with this now.
You now show Craig.
Need to clean the hard drive. I just fill the sink.
Yeah, chuck this in.
Very liquid.
Right, cool. This is feedback. Right, let's do it. And that was Jethro Tull with Aqualung, John's Choice. You're listening to Progtor Who. We've been reviewing the Ark of Infinity. We've put scores on it. We've told you what we think, but it's now time to find out what you think in listeners' feedback. I will come to you first, Craig.
I've got Mr. Matthew Peck. Ark of Infinity was a decent enough opener for season 20. I love the fact they brought Omega back for this story. Such a shame Louise Jameson wasn't available to reprise her role as Leela. Andrew Sachs and Michael Goff were on fine form, as well as Colin Baker, who played Commander Maxwell. Not a patch on classic Gallifrey stories like Deadly Assassin or Three Doctors, but still a treat to watch. Cheers, Matthew, Mr. Peck.
Thank you very much. It's okay.
We've got Sean Ashton, and he's put, it is a good season opener to start the 20th anniversary season. Bringing back Omega was a good stroke since it connects the 20th season with the 10th season. The traitor was not who we were expecting, though, and the link with Gallifreyan history are prevalent in this story. Colin Baker was cast as Maxwell, played him as a harsh, rule-obeying head of guards, only returned to Doctor Who for playing the Sixth Doctor. Definitely worth watching, and the return of Tegan was kept secret in episode 2 is a genius move, full of surprises and definitely worthy of the 20th anniversary year. Cheers, Sean.
Thank you very much. John.
F. Clancy says, I loved it. My missus is Dutch, and I'd been to Amsterdam so many times that I knew all the locations. I didn't like much about the Time Lords, but thought Colin Maxwell was deliciously nasty. Andrew Sachs and Michael Goff, both brilliant, as they are everything, but as they are in everything, but rest of the Time Lords rather faceless. I even like the big chicken thingy, Ergon. Only things apart from the not important Time Lords was Omega's outfit. I know his mind designs how he looks, but the first one in the Three Doctors hiding his nothingness was, in my opinion, awesome. No need to change it at all. Good luck with your project, Suki. Sounds great.
What project?
Well, what it was, because I've gone on to a couple of big Facebook Doctor Who's page sites, and I just said,
big Facebook?
Big Facebook? What's that?
What do you mean by that? Are you saying we're minor? What do you mean big Facebook?
What's big? What's big Facebook's okay?
Yeah.
Okay, other Facebook pages. So I asked them for their opinions, and they've Kev Clancy here has assumed that we're just starting off on a project and not that we're already 7 years into it.
What, Kev Clancy's never fucking heard of Progtor Who?
Yes. What? So, yes, but thank you anyway, Kev.
Sorry for doubting you, Sucky, darling. Your face
well, no, thank you for the luck with this project, Kev. I hope you join and I hope you enjoy it as well if you listen to it. I'll read the next one. Ian Warner, fan theory. The Doctor Who TTRPG source book theorized. All right, yep, thank you. Of course, yeah, there's one of them. I want to play that. Source book theorized that Maxwell, like the Doctor, was influenced by Earth culture, and that his ridiculous hat over large stazer and bombastic demeanor were modelled on his childhood hero, Judge Dredd. I am the law. Cliff.
I've got Dave Wynn with great story, good pace adventure with a interesting ending. Lots of Amsterdam and Gallifrey.
Neely. Cliff. Craig.
Rudy McDougall. An excellent adventure with twists and turns to keep you guessing. The reveal of Omega's ally was totally unexpected. Cheers, Roddy.
Thanks. It's okay.
Got Micah Farrington, and he's put a truly awful story and a pitiful return for Omega, as well as start for season 20. Ark of Infinity only has one really good thing going for it: the chemistry between Five and Nyssa, as well as the return of Tegan Jovanka. Well, that's two. Other than that, it is a terrible story that I've... Sorry, Micah. Sorry about that. I do apologize. Other than that, it is a terrible story that I've only been able to sit through twice in my lifetime. I can usually find something to love in even the most average of Doctor Who tales, but not this one. He has, I'm just going to say, Micah, that's exactly the same sort of opinion I have, and I do apologise for pulling you up on the two facts thing.
Doesn't mean it, honestly. He's just saying that, but he's laughing
because it's true. It's true what he said.
It's just so. He's so.
He said I've got one thing. He named two, so that is two. He just quoted facts. Okay, don't apologise.
Okay.
Don't apologise. It's not your fault.
I'm not apologising. Next one.
John.
Mark Klaus says, unpopular opinion, I like it, but then I am obsessed with Omega. Only problem is it's a bit dingy in places. Hopefully it will look better on Blu-ray, especially the location footage in Amsterdam.
Thanks, Mark. Charles Bobby. Wasn't a classic, but I enjoyed it. Anyone who has visited the brilliant crazy city of Amsterdam will enjoy it more. I went to Amsterdam. I didn't really like it very much. I'll be honest. It was a bit shit.
I think so.
That's weird because
I'm liking him there.
I
got
spoke
lost.
to Amsterdam and they said that they thought you were shit as well, Bob.
Yeah, I thought he was.
I went to Amsterdam. They said they couldn't give a shit what anyone thought.
I do like the fact that you've actually got a youth hostel there, though, named after you, Bob.
Yeah,
it is Bob's hostel. Yeah,
it's
Bob's
one
hostel.
it's one of my businesses. Bob, my youth hostel in Amsterdam.
I had to walk quite a way to find that, if I remember rightly. I can't remember why I went.
It's just
is that the
outskirts
business is
of town.
disguised as a youth hostel?
Yeah.
Cameras in every room.
Yeah, it's got TARDIS
Glory holes in
consoles
every room.
Yeah, like the Holiday Inn in Brixton, Cliff. It's got consoles in every room. TARDIS consoles.
So it should
Cliff,
be.
your turn to read.
Chris Ellis, half-assed Omega.
Come on, Cliff.
I don't mean to criticise, but that was a half-assed comment a little bit as well. It's only 3 words.
Class.
That's the first time I got it
Chris.
right.
Craig.
Billy Pyrex. I was always disappointed that Omega didn't resemble the original form, which is the most.
Whoa, stop, guys. We'll have to do that one again.
Oh, God.
No, I think we should.
Yes, we will have to do that one again.
Sorry, can't help it.
Do you want me to read it?
No, I'm over it now.
All right.
Just took me by surprise.
Fucking get a grip, boys. It's never going to fucking end if we don't.
Jeffrey T-Fell. Was it that? Charlie China.
I mean, good thing is he's microwave proof, so that's always nice.
He's not watching on YouTube.
Oh,
No, he's not going to watch on YouTube.
So
All right,
glad you
guys.
giggled because I just felt myself going, and then I heard someone sneak, and that was it.
Stop. Fucking
Right.
bitch.
You want to
Right.
introduce me and I'll do it because I can do it without spazzing out?
I want to do it.
All right, let's do it.
Just silence your phone, though, Bob, because if you giggle, that'll be it. Oh my God.
Do you want me to do it? No, you say no, I'm fine, and then laughing again is not gonna. I mean,
Right.
we were gonna put a timer on the bloody comments, and now
That was
we're
before
going.
Billy Pyrex came along.
Look how much fun we're having doing the comments.
Oh. God, Craig, God.
Right, ready. Billy Pyrex says, I was always disappointed.
Oh,
Bob,
Bob,
don't.
Bob,
can't.
mute yourself,
I
for
can't.
fuck's sake.
I'm gonna mute myself.
Mute yourself, Bob. Yeah.
Billy Pyrex says, I was always disappointed that Omega didn't resemble his original form, which looked much more sinister to me. The new design of Omega didn't work. It was too abstract, and I daren't mention that rubber chicken. Cheers, Billy.
Thanks, Billy. Suki.
We've got David Ewan. I think it's
Sorry.
Sorry, it's just...
Oh God.
Hard to get.
Is that? Come on, guys. Come on. We'll start.
Suki.
Okay, David Ewan. I think it's a bit of a mistake with the whole returning to Gallifrey thing, though I can see why this was done, as that was what the show was doing then. It's nice to see Michael Gough back, and the stuff in Amsterdam is nice, except those students which are woeful. The chicken monster is also appalling. There is a good script in here, but it looks like it has been edited to buggery to include all this extra baggage. Davison is good as Omega 2, quite poignant. I much prefer the really original stories of this season, though, like Snake Dance and Enlightenment. Those are the stories that shine for me. Cheers, David.
Thanks, John.
Ryan Hindley says part 4 was a romp. The rest was not great.
Awesome. I've got one here from Philip Porcelain.
I mean, you're the one doing the editing, Bob.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're making a run for your own back here.
This one's
You should make.
Charlie China. Will Reed. Right, I've got one
You
here.
will read this.
I've got one here from Will Reed. It was definitely of the time. However, I love the location shooting. Colin was well cast as Maxwell too. I've got nothing negative to say at all, as this is actually one of my favourite stories from all eras. Wow. But then I love Silver Nemesis. I'm a sucker for the old campness of classic Who. Thanks, Will. Cliff.
Got one here by Paul and at whatever.
P wearing.
That's it. P wearing. Good to see Nissa and the Doctor get some time as a duo. Bit of a stretch that no one guesses that Time Lord plus antimatter equals Omega. Not a classic, but nowhere near as bad as some people make out. Omega needing the physical imprint of bonding does sound a bit naughty, though. Getting fucking good at this, me.
Well done, Cliff. Wow, that was
Fucked up at the beginning.
It was reading that. He worked out which one was his soon.
Yeah, I did.
Class.
Yeah.
Craig, Brian O'Neill.
Brian O'Neill,
Brian
good.
O'Neill, yeah.
Good scenes on Gallifrey and during the chase through downtown Amsterdam, but Tegan's cousin versus Spacebird guy, pass.
Cool. Thank you very much.
We've got Jim from the Crinoid podcast. Hello, Jim.
Hi, Jim.
Gallifrey at its most fang wanky and uninspiring. Colin Baker is okay, and Nissa actually does stuff, but Omega 2 is a downgrade. The two backpackers are hilariously crap, but not as much as the Ergon. And the Amsterdam filming is as pointless as Tegan's fake departure and return. Poor.
Totally agree.
Totally agree. Yeah, I agree with that.
Cheers, Jim.
Thanks, Jim. John.
The 51st Doctor says Tegan's boob tube, Gallifrey and coffee shops and a chicken monster. What's not to love? / hate. 6 out of 10.
Got one here from our Mark Atkinson. Hi guys, so Arkham Infinity. It's a bit of a strange one, isn't it? Neither classic or clunker. It's good to see Gallifrey again, but who knew they had so many sofas? Whoever thought Tegan's boob tube was a good idea needs shooting. It does nothing for a figure at all. Poor Janet Fielding. Good to see Colin Baker for the first time in the show, and crazy to think a year later he'd be taking over the lead role. Episode 4 is just a lot of running around Amsterdam, isn't it? Not the most amazing episode committed to film, is it? A lot of questions here, Mark. And what is that chicken monster all about? ? Who looked at that and thought that was a good idea? Stevie Wonder. Fucking brilliant. Blimey, I watched the DVD with the spanking new CGI effects added, which did improve things slightly, but overall there's a lot to say. There's not a lot to say about this one, is there? It's neither terrible nor amazing. Davison does his best with what he's given, which is basically Rice Krispies stuck in his face. Oh yeah, true. And at least this gets more to do than usual.
Yeah,
I think we're going to give it a middle of the road 7 out of 10, just like me, Mark. Have a good podcast, chaps. Thanks. Love
Cheers,
to
Mark.
all.
Thanks,
Thanks, Mark. Cliff.
Oh, fucking
damn. I'll do it if you want.
Yeah.
No,
I'll give it a go. Let me do it. I'm ready.
Okay. Hold on, let me get popcorn.
Yeah, I'll go get a drink.
You might as well. Bruce Wayne, Arc of Infinity. Bayer, the Omega man, had let himself go since the 70s. 1 minute he's looking ruggedly handsome, the kind of man that would take on talking apes, and then he goes on to look like a love child of Martin Clues and a grasshopper. As an aside, I know it's difficult to act in a mask like that, but I'm sure he could have done better in the near-death scenes where he looked like he'd been gunged on. Tis was.
Oh,
yeah, Tis was. I remember that.
It's Dying Fly.
Yeah. While shaking like his love spuds had been wired up to the mains. Yeah, that was a bit weird. It's amazing that Amiga, co-founder of the Gallifreyan Society, said it right that time.
He did.
And developer of time travel, seemed so stupidly bad at making evil plans. But then I suppose if they turned the brains of most despots and wannabe gods into elastic, they wouldn't have enough to make a frog's jockstrap. I was never as keen as Davison. I wasn't as well. But then I was brought up on Baker, which was a tough act to follow. He acquits himself well enough, but never feels like he has the presence or slightly unhinged nutter on the verge of an loading nature I always expected of the Doctor. There's plenty of pseudo-scientific bullshit thrown to please kids, but as an adult, you just roll your eyes, mouth, what the fuck, and look at the signs of intelligent life in their overall and enjoyable story, even if I do prefer the Wachowski Matrix, 7 out of 10.
Well done, Cliff.
Amazing.
Well done, Cliff.
Fucking amazing. Well done, Cliff.
So if you're writing long epics, please think of our Cliff that has to read some of them out. Keep it brief for his sake.
I thought he did a great job, though.
Absolutely, definitely.
And finally, Dwayne Bunny, Craig.
Hi, guys. Can I start by saying how much I appreciate your podcast? Thanks so much for keeping me smiling for so many years and for inspiring me to start my own podcast. Oh, cheers, Dwayne. Arc of Infinity was a story I didn't see until the early 90s because when I was recording episodes after telly, for some reason, ABC skipped all the stories between Black Orchid to the King's Demons. It was wonderful to finally see this. I've always enjoyed Gallifrey stories. It's a shame that he didn't get Stephen Thorne to play Omega, but Ian Collier did a great job and he reprised the role in the Big Finish story called Omega. It was nice that the Castellan would appear again in the Five Doctors. How good are the guest cast? Elspeth Gray and Michael Gough, both legends of the time. But how good was Colin Baker in this? He plays such a great baddie. A couple of years before this, he played a great baddie in Blake 7, which I'm sure Bob will come across quite soon. Sorry for that interjection. Yeah. Perhaps this was a factor in JNT wanting him to play the Sixth Doctor as unlikable. But I should also mention the soundtrack. Some of this was featured on my Doctor Who, the music vinyl record. So the music from this was far more familiar than the story itself for many years. All the best, guys. Cheers, Dwayne, and thank you for the nice comments and good luck with that podcast.
Yeah, thank you very much, everyone, for writing in. I'm sure Dwayne and Philip will be featuring again when we go back to some audio reviewing of the Time Lord Victoria saga. Anyway, it's time to vote for this month's Benny.
Benny.
Benny time. Who do we think has been the best host of this podcast? I'll come to you first, Suky.
It's a tough choice, because everybody's been decent. So nobody's really done anything really bad. Oh, actually, yeah, there was a whole laughing incident while doing the feedback, so I might rule out 2 people there, maybe 3.
What, for having a good time?
Just delaying the feedback after we said that we was going to put it on a timer.
Oh, sorry for laughing.
Yes, you should.
I don't remember. I don't
now you're arguing with me, so you're definitely not the Benny.
I'm sorry for doing
that. That leaves out of everybody, out of the other. So that just leaves John then. So it's John.
Why, for not being a dick?
For trying to keep it on track.
All right. Fucking hell. Well done, John. Cliff.
This one is a tough one to pick, but I'm going to pick you, Bob.
Thanks,
because I wasn't really laughing at the guy's name. I was laughing at your face. It's just so funny when he's cracks up. I had to cover my eyes.
I've never lost it like that, laughing for I can't remember how long. And I was literally crying, and once you go, I've not gone like that for ages.
Like the laughing policeman in Blackpool.
Oh, fucking hell. I feel like I was going to pass out at one point. I've not laughed that much since the first half an hour of South Park, the movie. Cool. Thanks, Cliff. Craig.
I'm going to go with Cliff because he... Yeah.
I've got one. Fucking hell. Boom! I've got one.
He didn't like the story. It showed in his mark. I thought what he said about the story was really fair enough, absolutely true. I can't remember. There was another reason. Oh, because he read out that wonderful, amazing story thing. And also, I just love his pronunciation of Gallifrey. So I'm going to, because he did it twice today. So Cliff gets my award.
Yeah, cool. John.
I'm going to struggle to make a decision here, but I count out Suky and because he did fuck all prep for this. I'm going to count out I'm going to count out Craig because he gets fucking off the vodka.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I'm going to count out Bob for various transgressions of human rights and things. So it's Cliff.
Yes! Well done.
Yes.
I'm gonna vote Cliff as well because that reading was superb and you've contributed some fantastic points to this story, Cliff. You've been top man in this episode. Anyway, it's time to find out what we're watching next time. Let's get to the randomizer. You're on the randomizer, aren't you, Cliff?
Got it, boss.
Billy Pyrex.
I'm ready.
Roll them balls, Cliff. Let's get them balls a rolling.
Click.
And let's find out what we're watching next time.
Clicking the balls, and it's 237 Crimson Horror.
Oh,
Matt
Smith. Yeah.
We're out of the old, into the new.
Yeah, it's quite nice to a new one again. Yeah, definitely.
Interesting. That's quite cool.
Mark Gattis one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, set in Yorkshire.
Paternoster Gang as well.
Oh,
yeah, it's Paternoster Gang. Yeah,
Crimson Horror. Oh, lovely. Nice and short.
Yeah, 45 minutes.
Yeah, John, will like that. What are you, John? You on mute? Be on mute?
I'm not on mute, but I'm apathetic about the whole bloody thing. Yeah.
Oh, right. I
struggle with New Who a little bit. You know, it doesn't have it's got the shitness of old Who, but none of the charm. I'm finding.
I was actually going to put a caveat in for this one because the Evil of the Daleks is coming out on Blu-ray, which I know probably me, Suky, and Craig have pre-ordered.
Yeah,
which is out very soon, and I will be watching that. And I'd like to review it, but it's fine. We can do whatever's come out the randomizer. So if you want
do that one, if you wanted, I wouldn't mind watching that.
Well, we could do Evil of the Daleks and then pass this one over.
No, I've not seen that Evil of the Daleks for time.
When does it come out?
It's delivered on Monday.
Fab. Yeah, I'm happy to do that.
It's next week. You get it delivered next week. I've had it on pre-order for a while. So
yeah,
I've not ordered it.
Have you not?
Okay.
No, because I've got to the point where I'm thinking all these Blu-ray releases are coming out now, right? Because they want to do a collection box set a bit later. I don't really want to go around paying how much ever it is, 15, 16 quid for a Blu-ray release when I'm going to end up paying £40 for everything in that season. A bit later.
I want that for every wrap of heroin you get, Suky. I don't know what your issue is.
I mean, I just look at it. I look at it as I'm going to enjoy it, and I've spent money on a lot worse things. So I'll get it.
That is true. But most of those things you managed to sell to Suky, so that's good.
My delivery service to Bilston. Right, cool. So what we're going to choose: Evil of the Daleks or Crimson Horror? Let's vote.
Evil of the Daleks for me.
Crimson Horror.
Crimson Horror.
I want to stick to the whole premise and the situation. I don't want you changing the rules just because you get a fancy DVD.
Okay, Crimson Horror. Yeah, Crimson Horror.
Crimson Horror then.
I don't have a DVD player, so why am I? Yeah.
Neither do I.
Right, Crimson.
I've still got a video.
Crimson Horror is, and we can just enjoy even the Daleks in our own time. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. It has been a pleasure. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, goodbye. Before I say bye, we'll have our bonus episode of our Time Lord Victoria saga continuing, and the next up will be we're reviewing a book called The Night, the Fool, and the Dead. So that'll be coming.
I have to read a motherfucking book.
Yeah, it's bad, isn't it? There's not even an audio book of it either, so you have to actually physically read something with your eyes.
Words.
But yeah,
until next time. It out. I'll be here for next year. Me.
I might get used to the audiobook, Cliff.
That's 5 hours long.
Anyway, until next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye, YouTube.